absurd defiance ends here, hatchling.
Are you ready, my champion?
Annihilation. The fires of 1,000 suns. You do not have the strength, hatchling.
That may be, but I am not alone.
How pathetic. Annihilation. The fires of 1,000 suns. Disintegration. Cleansing. The fires of 1,000 suns. Disintegration. Cleansing. Incineration. Annihilation.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Until the others arrive to challenge me for the spell.
Hi guys, and welcome to my new build, which is a ward loop using the Beacon of Madness and the new Yinda stand with a big armor evasion chest piece. The special thing about the build, I mean, a lot of people are using ward these days, but the special thing about the build is using these boots, which I took in my inspiration from Palsterone's build that he's playing at the moment. But I wanted to make a ward loop character with that idea because I think it's very fitting, because ward loop characters already using the ward tech with the Aura's Resolve, and you just get a way bigger hit pool with Beacon of Madness. And also the buffs, some of them are actually really helpful for you, and not only the flask mod that reduces your flask effect. So if I press Aura's Resolve, you see the last line says 85% less ward during effect. If I press it, I actually, you can see I have 16.6k ward, and if I press the flask, I only lose like a very minor amount of ward. That's because now actually the debuff fell off, which can happen. It's very rare because you gain one debuff every second, I think, and it's random, one of those four, so you have to gain no debuff for 20 seconds. That's very unlucky, but it can happen. And if it also has to remove this one. The other ones we not really care that much. These are actually really bad downsides, like the less life recovery is, that sucks, because we use recoup as our basically mitigation against damage over time, and this really fucks us. but it's still decent against most dots, little dots. There are some stronger dots which we can't out-sustain, but it feels very nice. I haven't died too much versus dots. Yeah, this one, this debuff makes us very slow, but yeah, there is a way we can get around that, which I will talk about later. This debuff, this actually helps us. If you play a ward loop, a cast when damage taken build, you need to hit some certain thresholds for damaging yourself, because you need to take a lot of damage to trigger cast when damage taken. This one helps us. I mean, we also take more damage from enemies, but we have a very big health pool. An enemy has to hit us in one hit for 15.3k, which is not a lot of enemies can do that actually. So yeah, the way I built the character, I'm using, my main skills are, I'm using Vortex of Projection and I'm using Ice Nova of Frost Bolts, because they are really strong in combination if you can use both of them, which most builds can't actually do. And because cast when damage taken has no penalty if you use more skills in one link. Normally with cast on grid you have to hit twice as often if you have two skills linked in the setup, but with cast when damage taken it triggers every skill at the same time. And yeah, we can use another also. In another 6 link we can use then Frostbolt with GMP and Greater Volley to get 9 projectiles in total from Frostbolt, which we need. We need exactly 9 projectiles, because the Vortex of Projection will explode 5 projectiles, so they will be destroyed. So the Ice Nova can't be casted on the Frostbolt that is exploded from the Vortex, so we still need 4 more Frostbolts after the 5 exploded, which we get with 9 exactly. We explode 5 and we still have 4 left to cast our Ice Nova Frostbolts from. Yeah, we also use the Faith Guard to scale Energy Shield for Ward instead. We are using 2 Hardbound loops, which I need 2 Hardbound loops. You can't do this exact setup what I have, you can't really do it with only 1. You would have to drop endurance charges, you would have to use an evasion chest, pure evasion, since we are only converting 60% of the armor and evasion on this chest to ward. We still are left with some armor, which is really bad because we want to self-damage us with physical damage, and this self-damage that we take from physical is not that high, so our armor mitigates a lot of that, even though we only have 2k armor. So I opted in for 2 hardbound loops instead of 1, which also means we take more damage, so we can still get a bit of fizz mitigation. We can, we can get enduring composure for like 4 endurance charges all the time. And yeah, we could also use something like this mastery, less physical damage taken while on full energy shield, because we are most of the time on full energy shield, since we don't really take damage to our energy shield. Only dots can drain our energy shield, so actually next level I might pick this node up. This is the tree, and as you can see we play Occultist. Normally the Pulse one is doing Trickster because of the node that can slow you down. But we have another way to get around this. You can play this on any Ascendancy if you use the balance of terror with action speed cannot be modified to below base value. If you have cast temple chains in the past 10 seconds. So we just cast temp chains every 10 seconds, which is not that big of a deal because you don't have to cast your main skills anyways, because they are automatic, cast automatically by cast when damage taken, so it's not that bad. You just cast temp chains every 10 seconds. And you also want to cast it because you get 25 increased CDR, which is good for cast when damage taken. And you actually, the setup that I have with my cast when damage taken, I'm using SRS, cast when damage taken, waste zombie or falling, and less duration. It has exactly to be 60% less skill effect duration, and you can't get any increases of skill effect duration on your tree or from something like Malevolence, let's say. I have this one, and in my 6th link here I have a Summon Skeleton level 11. You want to have this, and you also want to have Forbidden Ride, which also damages you. And with the double hardbound loop I actually can also get some chaos res. I can actually get this number higher if I want to, and still take enough damage from Forbidden Ride because I have the double hardbound loop, like I said. Yeah, because most dots are chaos damage, and yeah, your only weakness are dots, basically. I chose Occultist because I wanted to play the Ice Nova Frost Bolts and the Vortex of Projection together, and Occultist just has yeah, Frigid Wake, which is really nice. We don't really care about cannot be chilled, cannot be frozen, because we have Purity of Elements on Eternal Blessing. I saw our only aura, and we are basically like triple freeze and chill immune because we have the action speed cannot be modified, we have the cannot be chilled, cannot be frozen, and we have the Purity of Elements. So yeah, this is the wasted stat basically, but we get 15% more cold damage. It's just 15% more damage because like all our damage is cold basically, and every 4 seconds we have a 50% chance to freeze nearby non-frozen enemies for 0.4 seconds. So it's a really nice defensive layer, and nearby chilled enemies also deal 10% reduced damage with it. Is also nice to have. And we can also make use of Withering Presence because we are a poison build, so 15% more damage again. Chaos Res, really nice, and we afflict Wither this way because we can't use Balance of Terror with Despair because we already have the double temp chains. So we get Wither that way, and with Withering Step. And also nearby hindered enemies deal 15% reduced damage over time, which is our weakness, so pretty nice. We get Wither on hit on our gloves. 25% chance, and also we take the Unholy Authority for additional curse. We are using temp chains, like I said, and Despair on a cast when damage taken setup in here. That will trigger all the time. And we also have a Sigil of Power here. Yeah, since all our damage can poison, this is a decent amount of damage and also less damage taken while at maximum stages, which we stack up really fast. Yeah, Withering Step. Talked about this, and what we have here: temp chains and the Eternal Blessing, Purity of Elements, and the Frostblink to move around faster. So yeah, the flask. So the tree is, we get exactly enough of the flask charges gained modifiers and the flask effect duration modifiers to sustain our flask, and we have a 29 quality with 42% increased charges per use. Yeah, if you want to copy exactly the setup, you have to basically get this flask. I'm not sure, maybe 27% is quality might also work. I haven't checked, but I just bought this this flask like that. Yeah, and yeah, like I said, we are using recoup, these two recoup wheels, and the mastery that life effects, recoup effects instead occur over 3 seconds, and I can't out sustain a lot of dots. Yeah, some physical dots I can't out sustain, but I can stand and get out in time most of the time, so I don't really die from dots a lot, at least while doing maps. So I'm using this brutal restraint here, which gives frenzy on kill and flask 3 times increased flask charges gained. At altitude, 3 increased flask effect duration on the decks. Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly the amount you need, so you can't drop it in. You need the 2 clusters with fasting, and yeah, you can have all res on them, you can have chaos res, you can have all attributes if you're lacking attributes. Yeah, I have one of those, and this one is just with int. I wrote this myself, so I just kept it in this increased energy shield, so why not? And I haven't had problems with dex and strength because because I'm using this amulet that I crafted myself, and also I have tier 1 dex on my gloves. So you need, for your megalomaniac, you will need enduring composure and blessed rebirth. The third point is, if you can get something nice, then I would take it, but I haven't really. I have life surge up, and I haven't found any third modifier that is useful right now, so I'm just using those 2. And we are also getting Lethe Shades, because yeah, damage over time is our weakness, and this just reduces the damage over time we take by 50%, which is nice. And here we are using a natural instinct in this location. By itself it doesn't really give a lot. We don't need accuracy, we don't need spell damage, we don't really need cast speed, but the most important thing that it gives us is access to a light of meaning here, and here you can see I have the chaos damage one, because we don't really have a lot of increased damage on the tree, as you can see, pretty much none. This is giving us everything we need. Basically here we get, you see the second line, 102 increased chaos damage, and this is not including all the nodes we are getting from traveling here. So overall we are getting, I'm not sure, but over 200% increased chaos damage. And we travel down here, Unraving Stance. It's really important because we only have 2k life. We definitely want this because we get stunned by everything otherwise. Yeah, I had to learn it the hard way. I didn't want to travel here, but we also get mana recoup and another mana mastery, which is important to sustain all your stuff. We also get a flask charges gained from this cluster, and then we get this one is also nice, reduced mana cost, and we traveling to elemental overload since we are starting out with elemental skills. Yeah, this is just 40% more damage with poison basically. Then we are getting this cluster for the mastery for less damage taken from damage over time. Yeah, that's basically the tree. I'm using Hypnotic Eye with 2%. It has exactly to be 2% increased CDR. So we hit a breakpoint of 27 CDR, which we need with our damage taken setup. And I also got Corrupted Blood, and I want to add phasing on kill, but there wasn't one up with the CDR Corrupted Blood phasing on kill. At least nothing that I wanted. Yeah, we also want one poison mastery for the enemy's poison, where you cannot deal critical strikes. Yeah, since if you get hit with, if the enemy is lucky and crits you and can one-shot you through the ward, then that's really bad. So immune to crit is even more important for this kind of a build. We also take the Mind Over Matter because we have a lot of damage taken, recoup as mana, and this helps us to sustain against dots also. So this is really good, because the damage from dots also gets split on the mana and the life. That's basically, yeah, we have bleed immune on this one and poison immune on this one. We allocate Serpentine Spellslinger. It's a really strong damage node. We are lacking a lot of dot multi on this build, so this is just the best DPS node we can get. And yeah, then the weapon I crafted myself with 3 combinators. I crafted this one, I think under 20 diff you can get something like this. There are a lot of videos out where they explain how you can craft with 3 combinators. You have to multi-mod and then craft with some special modifiers, and you had basically guaranteed to land this, so I have a very high chance of succeeding. So I just multi-modded with some chaos damage and chaos dot multi. So it's a +6 with like 80 dot multi and some chaos damage. Really nice. So our spells are level 30, and after 30 they getting diminishing returns. So you want to aim for level 30 spell gems mostly. And we have, yeah, these are the implicits on the armor. You want to look for the 2 flask gain 2 charges every 3 seconds. You can just watch the Pulse Drone video. Yeah, and we basically weapon swap to get the loop started. We just press X and then X again, and then it will just ramp up. And you will need exactly 6 stacks, I think, from this debuff to hit your damage threshold for custom damage taken. So in the start of a map it's a bit slow, but you don't have to wait every map. I just go in most of the time. We start off with like 3 or 2k ward, but we are tanky enough. I would just wait for maybe 1 stack of this, then you have like 4 or 5k ward and you should survive. Yes, so we, like as you can see, where it can be very hard on the eyes, especially with the MTXs, but I just like these MTXs so much, so I still use them. I turned down the volume a lot because it's very annoying. Oh. So yeah, I will put a map showcase, tier 17 map showcase, in the end of the video. Yeah, and just, yeah, if you have questions I will answer them in the comments, and see you next time. Yeah, bye.